I'm not making any money. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Fair use.
White, I will remind you that this is a civil body, and if your language is inappropriate, you will be removed from the chamber.
Well, I'm not a civil man. This country once sold my ancestors, so civility is something that black people typically don't get exposed to in this country. But I do understand the Constitution, so I do come in uncivil behavior. Say, brother, where you go? The brother, you right here in the blue shirt, man, I love you. But I want to remind you guys that there's somewhere in the Bible that it was God who hardened the heart of Pharaoh. And you guys kind of represent Pharaoh in modern day times. And when I look at you guys and I see these good people come out and talk with their children, I don't see you guys show any compassion. Carrie Moon is probably about the only one who I really see any God-like spirit when I sit back and I just look from the outside. But I want to remind some of these white people, they got some black people coming to y'all neighborhood.
Charleston.
And they got some diseases. They got syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea. They got some good people.
Charleston, you'll be removed.
Yeah, so this is Exodus chapter 9, verse 12. Yeah, and Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hardened not unto them as Yahweh has spoken unto Moses. Right? So that shows you the contrast. The Lord is balanced, right? Shows you the good and the evil, right? So he hardened the Pharaoh's heart, but unto his people, which are the Israelites, he hardened not unto them as Yahweh spoke unto Moses, right? Right, showing you the balance. And Yahweh said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and say unto him, thus saith Yahweh, power, the Most High, Bahasham Yahweh Shai of the Hebrews, let my people go that they may serve me. And ultimately, that's pretty much what we're doing to this day. And that speech that Charles did gave you that understanding, and he gave you the contrast, right? He looked at another brother and said, hey, brother, you right there. Hey, I love you. Right? So I love you. Then he came over and gave them their rebuke, so to speak, saying you people are you're very ungodly, and your hearts are hardened like Pharaoh, and you're refusing to basically judge right, and of course they refuse to let us go as well. They refuse to let us go. Yeah. So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, or Chaha Chodash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To your sisters, you are Kwathim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This is your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. Yeah, so this is Exodus chapter 10, verse 1. It says, and Yahweh, right? And of course, Yahweh Shai was on the scene. He was in that fathership, covering the the Israelites, cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. So Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, right, said unto Moses, right, because it was Moses, Yahweh Shai giving the message to Moses, right, in that in that fathership, right, which would have to be the ship that they call Mount Sinai, right, because there's no record of Mount Sinai, so we believe that that it had to be a ship, which makes sense why Moses' face began to glow, to shine, right? It says, said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, right? And it's the second time the Lord's hardened his heart. You know what I mean? And that's basically what's happening here, man. It's about to be 3 strikes you're out, right? It's the second time. There's going to be one more time, and then you're out of here, right? That's the thing that you did to us, right? Gave us the 3 strike law, and then life sentence, right? And it could be why that's why you did that underneath the your penal codes, because you're trying to get back at the Most High by coming at us, right? And it says for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, and the heart of his servants. Woo. So that's beautiful. So you're saying it's not just him. So matter of fact, it says I might show or shew these my signs before him, right? Right, because that remind me of of the scripture in the Apocrypha, right? Yeah, so this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 2, also known as Sirach chapter 10, verse 2. So as the judge of the people is himself, right? So are his officers. So as the judge, as the judges, his people or his officers as himself, right? They're just like him, right? So are his officer as himself. Yep, with the same type of mentality, things like that, and that's what they do in this society. You see everything with Trump. They're pushing a one thought mentality type thing. If you know what I mean, not just totalitarian and well, I guess that's what it is. Totality and everything, and thought, and how they rule, and judgments, and everything that they do, right? And that's basically what Charles was saying. You people are having a cold heart. You having the same type of heart as the Pharaoh. You're having the same type of heart, and you're lower people. You're just some people. What was that? City council or whatever it is. So you're not the rich billionaires that's with Trump, but you all have the same thing. When people coming in speaking about how they're separating families, they're grabbing up little kids, the ICE, and somehow the mother was there, and there was no reason for you to arrest or anything, the father or the son. Matter of fact, the father had just got released from out of it, and you go back and grab him again, and then this time you grab his son. You didn't leave him with the other parent, right? Showing that this is, and they're heartless. You speak to these people, and they have the same heart as him, as himself. They have the same mind as the judge, as the ruler, as the president, as these elites, right? And you're a lesser luminary, but somehow your mind, and this is before you're even micro-C-hipped, where you're all really going to be connected, right? You're all really going to think alike. Once you're micro-C-hipped, you mean it'd be impossible to have your own mind. And it says, what matter of man, and what manner of man the ruler of a city is, such are all they that dwell therein. See? And now you're having this cold mentality, and even people are feeling alone and lonely. They're not having it's not, life is not exciting anymore. There's no optimism to a future, right? Because they're telling you that it's okay that you for you to get the EPT card, but the requirements for EPT card is to get a job. But by the way, we're giving all your jobs to AI, but you have to work for your EPT card, which is going to put you in the bind because you're not going to be able to find work. So what is that going to do to you? You're going to be forced to take the MOTB because the whole system has to work under this totalitarian mindset in order to get everybody in the right direction. An unwise king destroyeth his people, and that's ultimately what's happening. The people are being destroyed, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be established. And that's going to be the elect, right? The elect is going to get authority to take back over the world, starting with Yahushai, King David, the 12 and 144,000, which will be ruling and having everything with prudence, right? Things is going to make sense. It's going to be functional, and it's going to make sense. It's going to be practical, right? And of course, we're the ruling class, and you gotta understand that pretty much since we've been here, especially as the Israelites, if the Lord made the world for our sake, but then we're only going to have you in captivity for 1,000 years, but we've been in captivity several times throughout this thing. We've been at the bottom, but the world was made for our sake. We were under the Egyptians. Then when the Babylonian came, we were under them. Then the Medo-Persian Empire came, we were under them, right? Well, the Babylonians both, because we had the Babylonians, but then you had the Assyrians, because they were pretty much like two different things, but basically ruled pretty much around the same time as well, because they grabbed up the northern kingdom. The Babylonians grabbed the southern kingdom, and they separated us. And then the northern kingdom came to America, which is Arzareth, and these things, and we're continue, and we don't have the kingdom. But you're only going to do 1,000 years, and then you can get your own land, except for Esau. He got to get Obadiah 1:18. But man, if that's not fair, if that's not a loving, kind, and a merciful power, and then you're going to be able to have fruits and vegetables and things that's not GMO, you're not going to, man, right? Come on. It's the Lord's just too merciful, bro. It says, of them which are in authority, the city shall be established. Hey, the world is going to be established again, right? It says, but it says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, the outer one. Yeah. See, because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And it tells you in Daniel, it says the Lord has the power to give the kingdom into whoever he want, even into the bases of man. The bases of man is ruling, man. Which every kingdom was a base man, right? When the Egyptians ruled, they were base men. The Babylonians ruled, they were base men. The Medo-Persian was base men. The Greeks, of course, because it's Esau, they're the base man. They're the bases of men. And then, of course, Rome. And then you got the regeneration of the one with the deadly wound that was healed. Rome, once again, here we are in the fourth industrial, enterprise of this Edomite, pushing forth the micro C hip with a cold-hearted heart and not caring about the people and what they're going through, destroying the people, not with no wisdom, right? But the power was going to be given to him that is profitable, right? To one that is profitable, as the scriptures say, right? So the power of the earth is in the hand of the outer one, which is Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. See? I didn't even notice I was looking at that verse, but yeah, perfect. Exactly. Right. And that's the time we're about to be fastly approaching. But for right now, you're going through it. And these people, their heart is cold. Yeah, so this is Romans chapter 9, verse 15. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. It's the Father. He has the power to do that, right? He's truly a sovereign power. He could do what he wants, but it's not he's just doing it on a whim right? He's doing it based on who's actually keeping the laws, who is actually doing that is pleasing to him. And then he's given the spirit to those who are able to please him, right? That would be the prophets, right? You know? So when, in which those prophets happen to be Israelites, right? Of all 12 tribes, right? Which is the nation of Israel, which are prophets, kings and priests, right? True judges, right? The ones that's going to be truly prudent, right? The Lord's setting up Yahushai and us to be in the likeness of Yahushai. We're also profitable, right? Right? So then it is not of him that willeth, right? It ain't because you have a will to want to have this or do this, nor unto him that runneth, right? You might be out there prophesying. You might be, you might be doing this, you might, hey, but what it says, the race is not unto the swift nor the mighty. It's given to the ones that the Lord set up over it. That's profitable, which you're starting with, like I said, Yahushai, King David, the 12, and then the 144,000. And of course, you got the innumerable multitude that's also gonna be delivered. Those people are able to please the power, and it's not by off whim. It's by design. It's by what do you call it? Divine intervention, right? The unction, the Holy Spirit, right? And it says, because many are called, a few are chosen, right? Not that of him that will, if you may will to have the knowledge, the wisdom, knowledge, and you may have a will to be part of the elect, but you may not be. You may run the race and be out there prophesying, doing your thing, but remember the Lord said this is your reasonable service. So many are called, few are chosen, not of him, nor of him that runneth, but the power that showeth mercy. See, the mercy is going to come from the Most High. And so if the mercy, especially Esau being the only one who's not shown any mercy out of all the families, which is briefly broken down in the Romans. Oh, well, we're in Romans, right? Romans 9, right? And then, of course, it actually explains that in the compound, the Bible compound dictionary, the compound Bible dictionary, basically saying Edom, the only family or the only nation that's not promised of repentance or any mercy. See, so it's not in you to get the mercy. So this is why you harden your heart. So the Lord just hardened your heart. So now you're going to get, for the scriptures saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might shew my power. And that's what the Lord's doing with these Edomites, man. In thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the world. And that's what's going to happen, man. Throughout all the world, the Most High's power is going to be declared through the destroying of Babylon the Great. These other nations getting their, destruction. Okay, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, 444 right now. On my clock, it's 444. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yeah, we're going to need mercy, man. We're going to need mercy on the utmost, man, right? Because it's going to be a day like none other, right? Matter of fact, let's see if I can find that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because basically it's right there. It says, well, I guess I'll go up a little bit. Yeah, 11. Start at 11, right? Because it's kind of basically saying the mercy is not for Esau. It says Romans 9 and 11, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the power of the Most High, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, according to his election, which means he's already chosen, predestined them. He's already chosen. They already, it's already set up. It's already set up in the spirit. Might stand, not of works, right? Who willeth, who runneth, but of him that calleth, right? It's going to be because the Most High called you to this work. but many are called and few are chosen. So that doesn't guarantee you that, but that's why you're supposed to move with fear. And it was said unto her, the elder, right, which Esau, you couldn't wait to come out to be born first, right? Because normally the blessing does go to the firstborn, and technically you had the title, you had the title to the deed, so to speak. But then you sold it, and then you try to creep through the back door and claim it, and then try to claim that our father was being the deceitful one, which he did do some. He had to be deceitful, but it was only because you were being deceitful, right? You know, which is the same thing that the Lord is doing. He's showing you you're going to fall into your own trap. It looks like things ain't gonna work out. We in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations. We don't have a military. We don't have an army. We don't got laser weapons and microwave guns and these other things that you have. So it looks impossible, but all things are possible through Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, who strengthens us through the scriptures. And we're going to keep on prophesying the downfall of this kingdom or queendom, right? But it says, and it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, right? And that's what's going to happen. The kingdom is going to set up one that is profitable. You're going out, and the one that is profitable is coming in, starting with Yahweh Shai. King David, the 12, the 144,000, says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, man. And so there's no mercy for you, right? Yeah, I thought I'd go to this just because I seen it on the, on the blue letter as a precept. It was in the thing, so I'll just see what it say real quick. It says, "Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all ye inhabitants of the land. Have this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers?" Right? Yeah, right. Because we're at the end. We're at the very, very end of the world. Right, because it's always been said that it was the end, but we're at the final seconds. We're like Apostle Tahar always say now. He said we're not years or days. We're moments. We're seconds, right? And there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. Like the MOTB has to be on the scene, but. Hey, the way things are moving so fast, you're gonna go to sleep and wake up, and you're gonna find out that you have to get the MOTB, right? Just like those people in Europe, everything was normal, and on as of January 1st, as of last month, they had to wake up to get the digital ID, and without that, they can't have a job. Just that fast, So. We're not looking at this as we got a long time, because it's basically already been. It says, tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children, right? See, because we've been speaking of the end. The end has been told, and that's why people, we've already heard, you've been saying it's the end, but it's meant to be told that way. So tell your children it, and let your children tell their children. And their children, another generation. Keep telling them until it happens. And so we have to constantly prophesy the end, constantly tell you about the end, right? That which the plumber worm have left, have the locusts eaten, right? And as you see, as especially when you go into the time that Abba Bibbins came on the scene, America has been decaying. It's been, being moved out of the way, right? It was better days in the 60s, right? It was, even though they still had wars and the police was jacking up Jake, pretty much what we're about to go through now. But this time is going to be a lot worse, right? When these devils get to pull out the things that they've been creating in these labs, the different viruses and this and that, and then also the weaponry, it's going to be a different time, But as you say, it's this decay thing, you know what I mean? And the locust eaten, and that which the locust have left, right? And it's been this constant decay of America. the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm have left, have the caterpillar eaten, right? And so now we're at the very end, where this place is at its end. So there's nothing else but for them to come in, push the MOTB, and show you that this place has been your prison. Show you that the power of the Most High is real by pushing forth this MOTB where you can't buy and sell, which that will prove that Revelations 13 is real, right? Third World War, that would prove that was real, right? Once that's on the scene, and then the ultimate, the missiles, the icing and the cherry on top is the missiles, proving that that's real. So you're gonna know that there is a power, and you're gonna know that there was a prophet among you, right? Yeah. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 9. It says, and therefore saith Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash, I will surely avenge them, right? Which is the elect, the predestined ones, the ones the Lord has mercy upon. I will have mercy upon whom I will have mercy. He's going to avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent and righteous blood. Receive unto me all the innocent blood. I didn't mean to throw in the righteous part, but they are righteous. Salakia. Receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Right. So the Lord is going to receive the elect, because it said the dead shall rise first, coming to the chambers, coming to into the chariot, and then those that be left alive, they're going to come into the chambers, right? You know, those that are beheaded, because this is what this devil's about to do, right? Going to have his re-educational systems, and then of course those that they're going to that do not want to worship the beast should be killed, right? Or unalived, however you want to say it, you know, allegedly, right? It says, behold, which means fix your eyes, look, pay attention. My people are led as a flock to the slaughter, right? To this MOTB, right? Through this system. Like even in, you know, he was going down to you know, speak on behalf at a city council meeting, and those are things supposed to be so you can hear how the city feel, how the people feel, and the people were saying how they felt, and those people were unmoved, they were unenthused on how the people actually felt. You know what I'm saying? So it was all a charade. It's just, okay, yeah, we're here to have a city council meeting, and we're going to do things based on, and we want to know how you people are feeling, and it would tell us the temperature of where we need to go and how we need to govern or judge the thing. But as the judges, so are the people. So now this is why you have people looting and shooting and killing and doing all sorts of different things, and they're being cold-hearted about everything, because that's what the rulers, the judges, the priests, the what do you call it? The presidents, the prime ministers, all these, they don't care. They hurt the children, right? The priests do. So do some of your politicians. They hurt the children, and then they put it on the wraps. You know, you have this thing pushed out there that they purposely pushed out to unalive people by a gain of a function of something that never existed. You never heard of you being able to get something from an animal, because animal die from animal diseases. People don't die from, you know what I mean? But all of a sudden there's this thing that never existed that they, were allegedly doing, and these are the elites of the world. But no one's held to the fire. And no one's blinking an eye. Everybody is, they don't have any feelings, right? So this is what the Lord is going to do. But you're leading the people as a flock. My people, more important, because the Lord ain't caring about everybody else. It's about the Israelites. This book is always about the Israelites, right? My people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And America is spiritually Egypt. Whether you understand it, believe it, understand it, or accept it, or believe it or not, that's what this place is, right? It's not ancient Egypt, but it's It's spiritual Egypt. And that's what it says. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, right? Which is Yahushai, with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, right? So this is talking about another Egypt. So we can go into history, and that's never happened. It never happened that Egypt got smite with plagues another time, right? You may believe that it never got hit with plagues the first time because this, and that. That's all a fairy tale. But you're about to find out that it's not a fairy tale, right? Because we can see it. It's all playing out. So you could believe what you want, right? We're not going to let your incredulity change us, right? Your unbelief, because we can see it, right? Yeah, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, right? And that's kind of that whole thing, that decrease, the plumber worm to the what was it? The plumber worm to the all the way down to the canker worm, all the way down to the caterpillar, right? It's just be like a decay, right? Plagues going in that fashion, but also what the ICBM, right? Is right? The decay of this of society, the morals, the ethics, having ethics and morals, things like that. People lost those things. So that's like a plague to this place. Now it's just decaying this place until it's gonna implode on itself as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that would be the of course I said the ICBM missiles, the intercontinental, super hypersonic, and Poseidons, and whatever else they got, bro. The Lord says, spare no arrows. And says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten, right? Well, that's the missiles. Yep. With the plagues and punishments, right? Like I said, the different sicknesses and diseases. And like I said, the ultimate plague is the missile, the ICBM missiles, and punishments that the power of the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall bring upon it, right? And that's the mercy of the Lord ultimately, because he's gonna have mercy on whom he will have mercy. He's gonna have deliverance for those who have deliverance for. For those who are meant and set up to be destroyed, you're gonna be here in America, Babylon the Great, being destroyed. And that's just that. Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai of hosts meaning armies, the children of Israel, right, which would be the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, which would be the southern kingdom, right, which we're coming together back as a family, as a whole. We're oppressed together, right? We're separated in the ghettos, the vadios, and the reservations, but through this oppressing, the devil coming down with great wrath, knowing he had but a short time, is going to force a lot of you to actually depend on each other once again. But ultimately, it's the gathering of was it the gathering of how did it go? Because it's the gathering of because it's really a gathering of Yahweh Shai, but I'm trying to reference to the point, the way it says it in Genesis 49. Shiloh, Slakia, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yeah, it's ultimately the gathering of Shiloh till Shiloh come, right? It's the gathering, right? The Prince of Peace. He's gathering the elect, right? By the washing of the water, by the word, and the word is going out, and it's gathering the elect. But through this oppressing, right, and this knowledge that we're getting through this, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and we could see it, man, right? More and more wisdom we feel it, and we know we have to get up out of here, and we have to depend more on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai than ever, right? Your whole total devotion. Now it's going to make all the sense in the world when the Lord said, because first when you come into the thing and you understand, the Lord said, I want you to worship me, mind, body, and soul. Right? You be like, dang, how can you do that? To love the Lord, the God, with all thy heart, thy mind, and thy soul. Like what? I mean, I love you, but how can I? But that's what it's going to take. Everything, bro. It's going to take everything. Because what? Israel and the children, so the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that held them, all that took them captive held them fast, right? And that's where we're at right now. Just like the Pharaoh, his heart was hardened, and basically he refused to let us go. They refused to let them go. So this proves that we're in a spiritual Egypt, a second Egypt, right? But what we had a redeemer then, and we're gonna have a redeemer now. Their redeemer is strong. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of host is his name, right? Yahweh being the Father, Yahweh Shai being the Son, and they're two totally different entities. They're not the same. The Father has more power and more understanding and more everything than Yahweh Shai, but he's not leaving Yahweh Shai without any power and without any authority. Matter of fact, he's going to give him all judgment and authority. So when you sit before the judgment seat, you're going to be sitting before Yahweh Shai at the judgment, at the white throne of judgment seat. Yahweh Shai is going to be your judge, right? So, he's no slouch, bro. You have to praise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, starting with his son, because there's no way to get to the Father but through the Son. You got to kiss the Son lest he be angry. And they're two different, they're not the same, So it says host is his name. He shall thoroughly plead, right, which means judge their cause, right? He's going to judge this world, right? The earth, right? That he may give rest to the land, right? And that's to the actual land, right? To Israel, right? Because you have to cleanse that land through this third world war, through this nuclear, onslaught that's going to be upon the world, and that fire is going to go throughout many places in the world, and it's going to cleanse it up, right? That fire as a cleansing agent, it's going to clean the land of Israel. It's going to clean America. It's going to clean places in China and Russia and all other places that it hits. Cleanse it up and give the world a makeover. It's going to be, the land, the way you see the world shaped, and the lands now won't be the same lands and the shapes that you're going to see in the time to come, right? There's going to be different islands that pop up from the ocean. America being pelted with so many warheads, it's definitely not going to be shaped the way it was before, so it's going to be totally different place. So, and it says, and disquieted, the habitation of Babylon, right? And that's here. It's going to be totally different. It's going to be completely quieted. Disquieted. It's going to be taken off the the lines of confusion, basically. There's no other way to explain it, right? So basically, there ain't going to be any more lines of confusion, right? Because it's going to be completely a totally different landscape, right? You're going to be able to know where California is from Arizona, or New York to Jersey, right? Florida to Atlanta. You're not going to know where any of these. It's going to be completely different. You're not going to be able, oh yeah, I know this is. You know what I'm saying? This was Disney World or Disneyland. This was This was Mount Rushmore, and the outlet's going to be gone, right? Gone. But it says, Exodus chapter 10, verse 27, right? 3 strikes right here. It says, but Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go, right? But Yahweh hardened the Pharaoh's heart, and he was not willing to let them go, right? So let's look up that word hardened.
Strong's H 2388. Chazak.
Let me try again.
Strong's H 2388. Chazak.
To strengthen, prevail, harden, to be strong, become strong, be encouraged, be frame, grow, frame, be resolute, so late. Let's see.
Resolute.
Yeah, resolute. I said it right. Be sore, right? Prevail upon. What was that one I seen? Yeah, to serve, to be grievous, right? Yep. See. Yeah, that's ultimately what the Lord did. He had display strength because He used them. Repair. What was the one I seen? Yeah, that's where it basically was to hold, contain, right? Because it even tells you about that the hearts of the kings are in the Lord's hand, and he as a river he could turn it which way that he wants, you know. To hold strongly with, yeah. To grow hard, bad sense, urgent, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. And the other one, let me see if I can find in the other one when it says harden. Yeah, I think it was in this one. This is Exodus 10:1. I'm gonna go down to harden. Oh yeah, it's kind of a different word, but it's still harden.
Strong's H3513. Kavad.
Kavad. Yeah, the other one was chasak.
Second entry. Kaved.
Kavab. Right? That was the other one was chazak. Right? And this one's to be heavy. See, that's the one I was thinking of because I was saying this to be heavy, to weight, to be weighty. Right? So the Lord weighed down upon him the type of person that that the dude really is. You know what I mean? And not just that. When the Lord put the plagues and everything, what those things were grievous, be heavy, be hard, be rich, right? Rich with your own type of desires, your own lust, the type of brings out who you really are. Which that's what's going to happen with these elites. It's going to bring out the who they really are. Be honorably, or be gracious, or glorious. I mean, be glorious. Be burdensome. Yeah, see, and that's what the Lord did to him. He became burdensome to him. Be honored. To be heavy. Be right here. This right here. I think this is it right here.
Insensible.
Right, and that's what these devils are. They're insensible. At the end of the day, that's what happens. And the Lord's hardening their hearts. They're insensible to our feelings, to how we feel, what we're going through, our plight. But they want the whole world to hear what they have to go through. They want the world to, oh my God, the it's a horrible thing what happened and what Hitler did, and it's a horrible thing of the 9/11. It's a horrible thing of the Pearl Harbor. And you know what? We need to all cry for you. Let's band together and let's do this. Let's do that. Oh man, it's horrible that they so-called kicked you out of Europe so that you had to find a new world that you discovered, and so that you could have your own place where you could do your own religion, and you didn't have to. So you don't have to have a king. You can have a president, or you could vote, and it doesn't have to be. And then we, the people, by the people. But then you don't see any of these things, man. Right? They're what?
Insensible.
They're insensible. Right? At the end of the day, let's see. See them. Honor, gain, glory. To get oneself glory. Right? Yeah. Because that's what they're thinking. Because they think I got to go get my own glory. But it's going to lead you to your destruction. To make heavy, make Dull, yeah. Because they don't have no feel. And that's what America, they saying all these Americans are dull. They're dull, insensible, right? People don't have no feelings for nobody else, right? Even this whole thing, when you speak to these MAGAs, about how would you feel if your children was doing it? Oh, they're illegal. They're this, that. They don't have no business. Okay, but they're here now. I mean, it's too late for that. But we're so used to always understanding those things. You know, we can't cry over spilled milk. That's already happened. I mean, if you wanted to put up the borders or put up different things and change the laws of how people come in and come out, maybe you could do that now. But those people are here now, right? You know, find a way to work out what you know. You can't look at what isn't. You got to look at what is, and make something work. But you're gonna do that when you're insensible, telling people they have to get a job in order to get the EPT cards so they can feed their families. But then, oh yeah, by the way, there's no jobs because we giving them all to AI. So that's very insensible, right? And harden your heart to make heavy, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to make the world heavy, to dull, make dull, right? And that's their mentality, and that's what as the king or as the judge, so is his people and his servants, right? The police, the mayor, the city council. So I mean, hey, the brother was, hey man, he was spot on with what they were, with how this place to make one's. Dense, right? Yeah, dense, right? Yeah, you're not, you don't care. You're just dense. You're not too deep, right? You're just insensible. Let's look up that word insensible real quick. See if I don't stumble all over it.
Insensible.
It says without one's mental faculties. Without one's mental faculties typically result. Oh, and that's what they've been about to do. Come down with great wrath, knowing they have but a short time. Results of what? Of violence, intoxication, right? And that's this place, man. It's intoxicating. What's this word real quick? Salakia, y'all.
Unconscious.
Yeah, right. Unconscious, right? And that's what it is. They're unconscious of how anybody else feel, what they're going through, right? And it's going to result in violence and drunken rage, right? Because they're drunk off the Babylon juice. They're drunk off the you know, of course, their own plight. There's you know, there's less Edomites being reproduced. So it's like, hey, we're not being reproduced at the rate that we want to. So hey, let's unalive the entire world, and then we'll microchip the rest, and we'll rule forever. And that's their you know, what they think is best for them. So they're not caring about your plight and how you feel. They're not. But the Most High is for His people, starting with the elect, starting with, you know, of course, King David, the 12, the 144,000, and the one, you know, the innumerable multitude. So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To your sisters, you them who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and the Bible ball, Chom Yasharallah.